Hello everyone, and welcome to another beer review. So we're back on the Scottish series, but we've got a little bit of a different one today. We've got a bit of a stout. So yes, we've got Darkness, which is a rich black stout. And I do like a good stout. And this is from the Loch Ness Brewery, up near Inverness. And there's some good spiel on the label for me to read as well. So apparently enjoyed by free thinkers and beer drinkers everywhere. Free thinkers and beer drinkers. Trust me, if I'm drinking beer, I ain't thinking a bugger at all. Absolutely. Free thinking. I'm not thinking nothing. Just getting wired into it, boys and girls. That's what I'm doing. But yes, Loch Ness Brewery. It's actually got a nice texture label. It's quite freaky. But anyway. Now, again, it's a nice area to go and visit. Because, of course, Loch Ness, up near Inverness area. And there's some nice places to go and kind of visit round about there. Including Loch Ness and some nice kind of castle ruins at the side of the loch. And a lot of kind of history and things like that. It's quite nice. So it's another good tourist place to go and visit. And in general, Inverness is quite a nice place to go and visit, and a nice place to kind of stay in the hotels around about the area. So I would recommend that. So I would definitely recommend the Cairngorms and Aviemore and Granton in Spain, things like that. I would also recommend to go up towards Inverness and enjoy Loch Ness and all that. Whether you believe there's a monster there or not, it's up to you. But yeah, I ain't falling for that shit. But yeah, there is some shit in the back of this label, and I'm going to read it to you. So we have a full flavoursome stout with chocolate malt and roast barley combining beautifully with clear Highland water, or as I would say, Highland water. A creamy head, don't we all? That's all we look for as males, is a good creamy head. So there we go. So a creamy head with aromas of coffee and sweet chocolate, leading to hints of espresso and luxurious black cherry. It's amazing, this. Jesus. It started off with a stout, and now they're kind of describing a kind of Black Forest Gatto, but never mind. Vast and unfathomable. Loch Ness. Well, we're on to Loch Ness apparently. So apparently it's a case of we've done the beer now, let's talk about the loch, you know. So so the beer isn't that interesting. Got one paragraph. Why bother? But anyway. Vast and unfathomable. Loch Ness has long held its reputation as a dark, mysterious stretch of water, blessed with the mythical healing power. Mythical healing powers? I've never fucking heard that before. That's a load of willy pish for a start. Oh, mythical healing powers. And home to the world's most infamous monster, Nessie. Mysterious stretch of water blessed with mythical healing powers. What a load of shit. Anyway. At Loch Ness Brewery, we harness clear Highland water to brew our award-winning ales to be enjoyed by free thinkers and beer drinkers everywhere. Now, the problem is with that, if anybody knows anything about brewing, and especially stouts actually work better with hard water. A lot of calcium carbonate in the water actually works better for brewing stouts, especially when you're using roasted malts. If you're using less mineral content water, in other words, soft water, like you get in the Highlands of Scotland, especially around about Inverness and Loch Ness, then you're going to struggle to try and get the kind of the kind of flavour transfer from the brewing, really, to be totally honest. So you're at a bit of a, a disadvantage. So if this was brewed in more shittier water down in London, you would actually get a better stout than you would probably up in Inverness and Loch Ness area. Although I'll come more into that with another famous stout coming from Ireland, because again, there used to be rumours about a certain Irish stout that was always better coming from Dublin than it was from London. And it just highlighted to me that people that said that didn't have a fucking clue what they were talking about. And all they did was just highlight how thick they really were, because they don't really understand brewing. And stout actually brews better in a high calcium carbonate water format than a more kind of soft water format, which is a good one, because we'll get on to that, because we'll be doing some kind of famous Irish stouts quite soon, and I will be dispelling the myths and the piss that comes with that. So anyway, this has got enough myths for anybody right now. So apparently it's a case as though it's all to do with the mystical healing waters of Loch Ness. A lot of crap. So let's get it cracked open and see what it's like. Hopefully it'll be quite nice, because I do like a good stout. I do. So let's see. I might struggle a wee bit because, like I said before, it's at a bit of a disadvantage just because of the type of water, and they might be adding water conditioners and things like that to give it a better thing. They might do, but again, you're usually better off with the original. And of course, for stouts and things like that, London was very good for it. And of course, if you want to go into kind of more ales, then of course Burton-on-Trent in the UK had absolutely premium water for that. So let's finish this off. We've got a nice tanned head. Jesus, doesn't really want to give me the... Has somebody been shaking this in the bloody fridge? Because I've just been doing a few different beer reviews, and look at it. Well, flaking that, mister. Oh God, right in the nose too. Look, see that? That's a good start. So yeah, getting a little bit of dark roasted malts, bit of slight molasses kind of bitterness to it, maybe a hint of espresso, but again, a lot of times people that smell coffee and these type of things is mostly really the kind of molasses they're smelling, the kind of dark treacleness. But yeah, that's all you're really getting. It's quite light in aromas. There's nothing too thick or sweet or sickly within that. And of course, you can see it's quite dark. So there's a nice blackness to it. So let's see what it tastes like. Yeah, just as I thought. Yeah. There's no clagginess to it at all. There's no real body to that at all. It's far too light. And this is the problem. This is one of the things you get when you're brewing stouts in softer water. It becomes lacking very quickly. It just doesn't hang on to it. It just doesn't really have that kind of boldness to the flavour. No, it's just completely lacking body indeed. I mean, seriously. I mean, it should feel like you're basically drinking something that should have a skin forming on the top of it, you know, like a rice pudding. That's the kind of bodiness that you want, that kind of girthiness to it, the kind of earthiness to it, and you're just not getting that. This is the problem. The water's too soft. That is just not really hanging on to some of the flavours during the fermentation process, and you're just getting a kind of a shadow of what could have been, unfortunately. So yeah, if you want a light stout, well, there you go. Oh God, it's light. Seriously. And it's got a very kind of sweet kind of aftertaste. To be totally honest, I've had milk stouts with more character and a lot more flavour, and this is supposed to be a traditional dark stout, and just way too light. I mean, seriously, way too light. Okay, let's break this down. Right, you're starting off with some nice malty sweetness, some nice kind of roasted malty sweetness at the start, and a bit of grain, and that's really it. Moves on to the mid-tongue, and you're maybe getting ever so slight accents of bitterness, ever so slight accents. But again, it's very light, and it's hard to kind of distinguish whether it's coming from a more kind of chocolatey kind of flavour background or more of a kind of a coffee flavour background, because you really can't identify it. It's so light, and you just got this malty sweetness really, and hints of grain. So really there's nothing really there in the mid-tongue apart from this kind of light malty sweetness, and it moves on to the kind of aftertaste, and the malty sweetness starts to kind of dissipate and the other flavours start to dissipate, and you just get little hints of bitterness. But again, you don't know where it's coming from, whether it's coming from a coffee based kind of flavour accent or a dark chocolate flavoured accent. So just in general, it's just way too light. I mean, if you wanted a sessionable stout, because that's almost what it's like. It's almost like if something actually exists like that, like a session stout. Which, of course, the closest one I know as a session stout is probably Guinness. Now, I will be reviewing Guinness, and I know lots of people out there love it and swear by it and everything else, but I actually find it quite bland. I found it had more flavour, Guinness, when I first started drinking it. But when I started to drink other stouts and more traditional stouts, I started to realise that Guinness is a bit of a lightweight as a stout. It kind of lacks flavour and it's a bit bland. And there's a lot of good traditional stouts out there that absolutely wipe the floor with it. To be totally honest, flavour-wise and everything else, and character and body. And I'll get more into it when I actually review it, but there's a good thing that I actually learned when I was drinking Guinness in Ireland, and the kind of more traditional Guinness drinkers and their attitude towards what they refer to as the tourist drink. But anyway, this is almost like this. This is very similar to the tourist drink. It's just kind of just lacking. I mean, it's nicely brewed, as you can see. It's staying alive, but flavour profiles way too light. Seriously. What would I give this out of 10? For a stout, it really is kind of lacking a bit. And it being Scotland, I want to be fair to it and everything else, and I like the area it's brewed in and everything else, but the water's just too light. You need a heavier water, you need a harder water that basically gives it a bit more backbone and hangs on and can basically support some good flavours to it, whereas this one just isn't. It's a bit watery, lacking in character, lacking in flavour. I'm going to have to give it a 4. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10. It's easy to drink, but not in a good way. I mean, if you want the flavours of the stout, then you're not getting many of them here. And what you are getting is very light in flavour. To the point is that they have this underlying sweetness right really from front to back, which is a bit unusual because you expect to get some sort of kind of real bitterness coming through with a stout, which you're just really not getting it at all. It's just lacking, unfortunately. Which is disappointing. So yeah, it's 4.5 out of 10. It's 500ml. It's what's the percentage of it? 4.4% alcohol, and it's just generally too light and lacking in the real stout flavours. But yeah, give it a go and try it. It's roughly about £2 a bottle, but for me it's way too light and lacking in flavour and body. So thanks for watching. Cheers and bye for now.